Hey everyone, I'm Allanda. I'm a 49-year-old mother of 6, a high school teacher, and I am on a GLP-1 weight loss journey. Now, I recently got asked a great question, and the question was, how do I hold myself accountable, and is accountability important in a GLP-1 weight loss journey? Now, I'll be honest, down below in my description box, I have a little code, so if you have a question that you don't feel comfortable asking in the comments, you can always email me, but some people do utilize that link. So if you have a question that you don't feel comfortable asking out loud, feel free to just click the link. I check it once a week, and then a lot of times I'll use those questions to address a video like today. So I'm not going to call anybody out, but she did have questions about accountability. She's trying to figure out her own journey, just like I'm trying to figure out my journey. I am not an expert. I have been on my journey 29 months, so that's a little over 2.5 years. I've lost a little over 80 pounds, but right now I'm going through body recomposition. Now, what does that mean? I am trying to gain muscle while losing fat at the same time. Now, I didn't put myself in this predicament. My body said, look, girl, this is what we're going to do. And I've just been rolling with it. My first year on the medication, I lost 70 pounds. My second year, I lost 6 pounds. And that's really when body recomposition started to kick in. I wasn't eating enough, but I was starting to work out. And so my body just kind of, And then I stopped working out. And that was a whole ordeal. It was almost like I wasn't on a GLP-1. My body was like, oh, give me some more water. But no, not really. The true factor is, part of my accountability was twofold. One, I needed a really good, reliable scale. My initial scale that I started my GLP-1 weight loss journey on, which I'll show a little picture here, eventually the company let go, like they bankrupt. So the app was no longer working. I could weigh myself, but it wasn't tracking anything for me. So I really wasn't being held accountable. Now, I was good, and I was documenting everything when I first started my journey on paper. Like, everything was getting written down. I'll show an example of that. But eventually, I got head checked. I started using the tools that were actually available. So that's when I switched over to a Renpho scale. And I'd like to thank Renpho for sponsoring today's video. They've been gracious enough to send me several scales to truly hold myself accountable for my weight loss journey. Now, going back to my original scale, I wasn't using that thing. I was not tracking it. I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. It wasn't until my doctor said, I need you to start losing weight. Let's get you on this medication. And I stood on her scale. And then I came home and I stood on my scale. And I was like, it is real. 264.7 is real. And so that's how I got on the medication. But I still needed a tool that was going to tell me how I'm doing. And just a typical scale wasn't going to cut it. Now, yeah, the scale I was using at home was telling me all the metrics, but I wasn't looking at it. I didn't care. And to be honest, I didn't even know. I didn't even know I needed to worry about my muscle. I didn't know I needed to worry about my visceral fat. I didn't know. But now, as I've been on the journey, I've realized those things are important. And so I've been able to utilize a scale that is truly allowing me to hold myself accountable. When the numbers start going this way, I'm like, ooh, come back. And even sometimes when the number is going this way, and that could be a good thing, lean muscle mass going up, that's a good thing. But then I have to track, what am I doing in my life as far as food, movement, things of that nature. So I go back to saying that, yes, it is very good to be on a GLP-1 and tracking, where you're giving your shots. But the accountability piece is huge. It is huge. I do believe that getting a scale that's allowing you to see truly what you're doing is beneficial. I see some people who were like me in the beginning. I was losing 14 pounds. I was losing 12 pounds per month. I was losing 10 pounds per month. And then it started going 5 pounds per month, 3 pounds per month, 1.5 pounds per month. And I was like, what is going on? And it's real easy to be like, I'm just going to titrate up. I'm going to titrate up. But that may not be the issue. It may not be a concern that you need to titrate up. It might be a concern that you need to increase more movement. It could be that you're doing everything right and now your body is gaining muscle. And that's why the scale's doing what it needs to do. But you won't know that unless you have a comprehensive scale. So I'd like to thank Renpho again for introducing me with the Renpho MorphoScan Nova Body Composition Scale. I'm able to track all kinds of metrics to ensure that I'm doing what I need to do for my journey.
Measuring weight. Please stand firm. Weight measurement completed.
For this scale, you want to ensure that you're on a flat surface, gripping the handles and barefoot. The scale provides 50 body matrix, including visceral fat, skeletal muscle, biological age, water percentage, and bone mass. All these matrices will be tracked in the subscription-free app. This app also links with Apple Health, Google Fit, and MyFitnessPal. 5 distinct body segments are measured, including the torso, left and right arm, left and right leg. As an added bonus, you can actually have a printable professional health report printed out in great detail. This is great information to give to your personal trainer, dietitian, or your healthcare provider. Now again, I started by saying a weight loss journey. Man, y'all, this is a health journey. I'm looking at the full transformation of my body. In addition to that, I'm also tracking my food. I'm not a good tracker. I'm not. And I kind of play in and out. Sometimes I track, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But next week, I will be tracking. I'm going back in to make sure I'm doing what I need to do to ensure that I'm staying in a calorie deficit. So how do I hold myself accountable? 3 things. A good scale, tracking my food, and then my last one, it's you. I have a YouTube channel for this particular reason. I come to you with my highs, my lows, what's going on, what could be hindering my weight loss journey or my health journey, and you all hold me accountable. You've addressed concerns, you've addressed questions, you've given me helpful tips. I truly, truly have a support system here. That's why I have that link down below. That's also why I offer the newsletter. Each month I upload a newsletter, so if you subscribe, just click this little QR code. On the first of the month, I will send you automatically a newsletter of what's kind of like a recap of my previous month. Our sponsors, who have also been so gracious to share their items, and these are items that I personally use on my GLP-1 weight loss journey, have all stepped in and said, hey, Allanda, we believe in you and we believe in your viewership. So once a month, you all are put in a raffle, and whoever's name is drawn gets whatever that item is. This month, the item is a Renpho Nova scale. So again, a scale that is very comprehensive is very important for your weight loss journey. I hope this answered your question. 3 things. A good scale that's going to be comprehensive. Learning how to track, making sure that you're in a calorie deficit. And again, I'm not a good tracker, but I do my best. And then 3, having a support system that's going to hold you accountable. I had a question or a comment maybe a week ago. I went to my cousin's birthday dinner. She's new on Wegovy. She's on the pill. This is making week 3, so it was last week. And the person said, oh, were you judging your cousin's meals? And I said, no, but my cousin specifically asked me to come. She was like, I'm worried about what I'm gonna do when I go out with my girls. Can you come? And I was like, because I know what they do. They drink and they eat full portion meals. So she was like, will you come? And I was like, yeah, I'll come. And so when we got there, that's the first thing that was on my mind. What's on the menu? What can I eat? What can I drink? And she just kind of mirrored what I was doing. She didn't want to stand alone, but she needed someone to help her be accountable. And that's what I did. When she looked at me. She didn't have to tell me what she was getting, but she looked at me to be like, maybe I shouldn't get that. And she looked at something else, and she looked at me, and I look at her, and she'd be like, maybe I shouldn't get that. This was her first time being out in a social setting. Many of us, let's be honest, many of us avoid these settings. We try not to go out and be around people while we're on these journeys. But here it is, her birthday. It was a milestone for her, and she has a goal of losing weight. So I was there to hold her accountable and support her in her endeavors. I thank you all for holding me accountable for my endeavors, and I hope y'all have a great week. Bye.